Hello, I'm Sarah Kurth. I'm the geologist at the Lazadra Museum, and today I'm here to share with you the virtual stone hunt. I put out a call for people to send rocks for me to identify and that I would talk a little bit about. And now here are the rocks that I've gotten. The first rock that we have was submitted by Riley. This is an agate. I'm not quite sure what sort of agate it is. There are lots of varieties out there, but this is definitely a very unique looking stone. Riley also submitted this agate, which is actually Brazilian agate. Both of those agates, which are actually technically minerals, are in the quartz family. What makes agate so interesting is that it is very hard. It's a 7 on the Mohs scale of hardness, which means that it can take a very high polish. It also has very unique markings. Riley also submitted this piece of citrine. Citrine is also the alternative birthstone for November. November is, of course, topaz, but oftentimes people will use citrine as an alternative. So good find, Riley. Some awesome rocks there. Moving on, Adam submitted these pictures of a piece of pyrite. He found it in his backyard. Pyrite is also known as fool's gold. It looks like his piece of pyrite has been around for a while. It's definitely got some discoloration going on, and that is just a product of being out in the world and being weathered. One of the main components of pyrite is iron, and iron exposed to the elements will eventually cause rusting, which in this case we see the discoloration of the mineral. But there's some really nice crystal shape that you can see in this piece of pyrite. So good find, Adam. Julia sent in this piece of muscovite mica. There are lots of different types of mica in the world. Muscovite is this color, this more see-through type of mineral. It's a very common mineral used in industry as well as commercial. Most makeup has mica in it, and that's what gives it that sparkly look. So you'll see it in your eyeshadow, your lipstick, your blush, that sort of thing. But they use it for many other materials as well, including glitter, which if you've ever held muscovite in your hand, it definitely gets everywhere just like glitter. Abby has sent in a few rocks, so we're going to go through them one at a time. This is a really cool looking rock. It's a combination of calcite and feldspar. It came from Creede, Colorado. While I was doing research on Creede, Colorado and the calcite from there, I found that there is a possibility that this calcite may fluoresce under short or long UV light. Abby also sent in these pieces of rocks. These are pieces of chert, which is another form of quartz. These rocks came from Moab, Utah. She also sent in this piece of jasper. So jasper and agates are related, but the difference between them is that jaspers are opaque, so you can't see through them like you can with agates. This particular piece of jasper came from the La Salle Mountains in Utah. Here's another piece of jasper that Abby said. She lovingly calls it a potato rock, and I can very much see why. And finally, we have from Abby quartzite, which is a metamorphic rock. This is a very common rock that you'll see used in landscaping because of it's a very durable stone. Quartzite is actually metamorphosed sandstone, so it can come in lots of different colors, as you can see in this picture. She's got some really dark ones and some really light ones. So Abby, that is quartzite. Now, moving on, we have a rock that was submitted by Alyssa, and this is showing the front and the back of this one particular rock. And she collected this in Florida. It's actually a conglomerate, and you can see little pieces of sand grains that help cement this rock together. There's also some pretty large clastics. So clastics is a term that we use to describe the stuff inside of a sedimentary rock. So you can see in the front piece that that one piece of clastic is actually pretty large, and I would wager, without seeing the rock up close, that it's probably some kind of chert, which we mentioned before is a type of quartz. But this rock is definitely a conglomerate, almost on the verge of being sandstone, but not quite. Alyssa also sent these two rocks, which are the same thing, the conglomerate with the sand cement. But one of these rocks has something very special. Can you see it? Right there. It's actually a piece of a fossil. That's so cool. So this is a piece of a bivalve or a clam. So you can see the ridges in that rock indicating that it is a fossil. So good find, Alyssa. You got a fossil. Brian found this piece of granite in the ocean from Cambria, California. Now, this is a tricky rock because it was in the ocean. It's actually really well-rounded. So it is difficult to see a lot of the crystals, but from the looks of it, it looks very much like granite. It's really difficult to say where it came from since it was found in the ocean. It could have come from anywhere. So good find, Brian. And the last rock I have was found by Magdalena, age 1. I have to admit that Magdalena is actually my daughter, and she found this rock on my bookshelf. This is actually one of my favorite rocks. This rock came from Kilauea volcano in Hawaii, and it is a piece of pahoehoe lava. Uh, Lava is a generic term for lots of different types of rocks that come out of a volcano, but pahoehoe is a specific type of texture to describe a ropey look to the lava. So good find, Magdalena. That is by far my favorite rock. And thank you so much for watching.